Let's get right to it. Let's stop pretending you're powerless. Let's stop pretending your story is being written by anyone but you. Let's stop giving your power away to people and situations that haven't earned it, deserve it, or value it the way it should be. Because the truth is, you're not a victim of your life. You are the author of it. And until you take the pen back, you'll keep living by a script someone else wrote. A script that told you to shrink, to wait, to cope, to settle, to sacrifice who you are to please the ideas they generated about you. But I'm here to remind you of something you've always known. The power you're searching for has always been inside you, and nobody can take that from you. It's time to stop living a story of survival and start writing a story of truth. Hey, I'm Mike Oglesbee, and this message is for the ones who are done waiting, done shrinking, done sacrificing their truth and authenticity just to make other people comfortable, done hoping someone, anyone, will come along and save them from the life they no longer recognize or desire. Because if you've been looking for a sign, this is it. You don't need another guru. You don't need more affirmations, and you certainly don't need to wait for the right time. You need permission to pick up the pen and write again, to take charge of the narratives in your life, to take full authorship of your life, to harness your power, to express your essence in the exact way your soul came here to do. You were trained to believe life is happening to you, that your experiences are shaped by circumstance, that your identity is fixed. But the truth is that you're creating it with every belief you reinforce, with every choice you justify, every fear you bow down to, every thought you don't challenge. And once you understand that, really understand that, you stop waiting for change and you become the change. Let's get honest. Most of who you think you are was written by someone else. It wasn't born from your soul. It was handed to you, pressed into you, forced onto you by a world that feared your power. Your parents' unhealed fears, your culture's control systems, your school's boxes, your religion's guilt and shame, your trauma's repetition, your society's obsession with making you small, silent, and compliant. You inherited a story that says you're not good enough, that it's too late for you, that you need permission to shine, and if you shine too brightly, you'll be punished, and that you have to suffer before you can succeed. But that story was never yours. It was a lie dressed up as love, a prison disguised as protection, a program you were conditioned to perform, not a truth you chose. And the moment you see it, really see it for what it is, the moment you realize, I didn't write this, is the moment you can finally put it down. You can stop reciting the script. You can stop repeating the pattern. You can stop living a life based on someone else's fear and start writing something new. You keep looking outside for the fix, the relationship, the next job, the coach, the guru, the next spiritual shortcut that promises to save you. But let me ask you something. What if it's been you all along? What if the thing that you've been searching for in everyone else was already alive inside you, waiting for you to stop outsourcing your power and own it? Not because you figured it all out, not because you're perfect, but because you've been given authority, the divine authority to shift, to choose, to say, it ends with me. You don't need your parents to heal. You don't need your past to change. You don't need the world to give you a permission slip. You just need your truth. This, right now, is the moment you stop begging life to change and start becoming the answer you've been waiting for. Because that power, that pen, that permission, it was never out there. It's been in your hands the whole time. I know what it feels like to live inside a story you didn't write, to wake up in a life that looks fine from the outside but feels hollow on the inside, to chase dreams that were never truly yours, to climb ladders you never wanted to be on, to play the part, wear the mask, smile on cue, perform the script, while secretly wondering if this is all life has to offer. I know what it's like to be the peacekeeper, the fixer, the one who makes sure everyone else is okay, while silently falling apart. I believe that if I just kept going, kept coping, kept sacrificing myself for the sake of stability, eventually things would get better. But they didn't, because nothing changes until you do. There came a moment, raw and undeniable, where I looked myself in the mirror and said, "This isn't the story I came here to live." And in that moment, I didn't have all the answers, but I had something more powerful. I had a choice. So I made it. I stopped reading the old script. I stopped performing the identity they gave me. And I started writing my truth, one honest word at a time. And let me be real with you. It didn't all shift overnight. No strategy, book, or affirmation made the pain vanish instantly. Because transformation isn't a hack. It's a sacred daily choice. It's a process you step into, a reality you build with consistency, compassion, and courage. And that moment, when you take the pen back, that's the moment everything begins to change. Let's name the 4 most toxic lies that keep people stuck in a life they were never meant to live. Because if you don't name the lie, it keeps writing the story for you. It keeps whispering in the background. It keeps pulling those strings of your choices. And it keeps convincing you that it's truth when it's not. Lie number 1, I need to be fixed. This one runs deep. It's the belief that there's something fundamentally wrong with you, that you are broken, too flawed, incomplete, that you have to hustle for healing, prove your worth through performance. But here's the truth. You were never broken. You were disconnected. Disconnected from your truth. Disconnected from your voice. Disconnected from the part of you that never needed fixing in the first place. You don't need to be rebuilt. You need to be remembered. And the moment you remember who you really are, the lie loses its grip. Lie number 2, my past defines me. This one keeps people in cycles for decades. Because when you believe your past is who you are, you stop believing in what you can become. Yes, your past shaped you in many ways. Yes, it left marks. Yes, it created reflexes that you're still unlearning. But your past doesn't get to be the author of your future unless you keep handing it the pen. The truth is, your path explains your pain. It explains your patterns, but it does not define your potential. You're the only one who gets to write what comes next. And every new choice is a blank page. Lie number 3, I have no control. This one sneaks in as helplessness, as overthinking, as waiting, as the belief that life is something you have to endure rather than engage. But here's the shift. You don't control the how. That's not your job. You're not here to micromanage the universe, but you do have great authority over the what, over what you believe, over what you align, over what you declare, what you say yes or no to, what story you decide to tell today. Power doesn't come from control. Control is an illusion that always breaks down. It comes from clarity. And when you align with truth, the rest starts to rearrange itself around you. Lie number 4, it's too late. This one kills more dreams than failure ever could. It whispers that you missed your window, that you should have started younger, that because you've struggled for so long, it must mean it's over. But that voice isn't truth. It's regret masquerading as logic. Here's the real truth. As long as you're breathing, it's not too late. Not too late to heal. Not too late to rise. Not too late to start writing a new chapter, even if it's the last one. Some of the most powerful stories are the ones where the main character woke up just in time. And yours? It's right on time. Most people think peace comes after the breakthrough, after the conflict, after the chaos finally calms down. They believe peace is something you find when the storm ends, when life finally settles, when everything is okay enough for them to breathe. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't come after the storm. Peace comes when you stop identifying with it. Because real peace isn't a product of your environment. It's the authority of your inner world. Peace is not passive. Peace is not weakness. Peace is not checking out or bypassing or pretending things are fine. Peace is power, unshakable, magnetic, rooted, unmoved by the noise of the world because it's aligned with something deeper. And when you choose peace, you're not just calming yourself, you're reclaiming authorship. You're saying, I'm no longer outsourcing my emotional state to the chaos around me. I'm no longer letting fear dictate how I feel. I'm no longer available for inner war. You don't wait for peace to find you. You don't hope the world delivers it. You write it. You walk it. You embody it. And when you do, you don't just heal yourself. You become the presence the world didn't know it was waiting for. You weren't put here just to suffer. You weren't born simply to survive. But somewhere along the way, you were taught that pain made you worthy, that struggle made you spiritual, that joy had to be earned. They told you that ease is irresponsible, that peace means you're not working hard enough, that success without suffering is shallow. But that's a lie, a deeply conditioned generational lie. You were made to grow through the struggle, yes, but not to build your identity in it, not to make it your home, not to tether your self-worth to how much you've accomplished or endured. You weren't created to constantly climb uphill. You were created to remember that freedom is your birthright, that joy is your natural state, that peace is not a luxury, it's your baseline when you stop betraying your truth. A beautiful life isn't something you stumble upon. It's not some reward you receive for making it through the pain and struggle. It's something you create moment by moment when you stop performing for the world and start living from the inside out. So hear me. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to prove you're ready. You don't need to apologize for wanting more. You are allowed to have a beautiful life. Not after the healing, not after the breakthrough, not one day, now. Here's where the deeper work begins. Because once you reclaim your authorship, once you rewrite the story, there's a part of you that will want to control everything. Every step, every outcome, every timeline. But that's not your job, and it never was, which is why it never has and never will work. Your job is to get clear on what you desire, to move in alignment with it, to act with integrity, to speak with truth, to do what's within your power in this moment without abandoning yourself. And then you let go of the how, because life is not something you force. Life is something you partner with. You weren't meant to push and claw and micromanage every outcome. You were meant to collaborate with the divine rhythm that underlies all things. Your job is to walk in truth, to hold the vision, to listen deeply, to honor your role in the cosmic dance without trying to lead when it's not your turn. Let life be the orchestrator. Let love be the timing. Let your faith be the bridge between now and next. Stop trying to bend the world to your timeline. Stop treating divine unfolding like a deadline. And start trusting that life knows the way better than you ever could. This, right here, is surrender. This is peace. This is what real power looks like. It's not domination, it's devotion. It's choosing to be in union with something greater than your ego's need to control. So breathe, walk in truth, take aligned action, and then let go. Because the more you trust the unfolding, the more you remember the universe was never against you. It was always guiding you home. So let me ask you this. What story have you been living that no longer belongs to you? What narrative have you been dragging behind you, hoping it would finally lead somewhere different, while knowing deep down it never could? And more importantly, what truth is asking to be rewritten next? Because the pen, it's in your hand now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, right now. This life, this chapter, this next breath does not have to match what came before. This is your moment to rise, to remember, to reclaim your truth and your true self. You are the author of your life, and the world is waiting, not for your perfection, but for your presence, for your power, for the story only you were born to write. If this message lit something inside of you, drop a comment below and say, I'm writing a new story. Speak it, anchor it, declare it out loud, so the old narrative hears you walking away. And if someone in your life is still living a story that's too small for their soul, send this to them, not as motivation, but as an invitation to come home. I'm Mike Oglesbee, and I'm here to remind you, you are not broken. You are not behind. You are not the storm you survived. You are the author, and it's time to write a life that finally tells your truth. Let's go.